Alright, in my series on budget hunting rifles, scoped rifles, while I was doing it and getting these guns and lining them up, I threw in a wild card, which would be a Sporterized KR98 that belonged to my grandfather that I ended up with. And I threw that in there and I went to the range with that, trying to get ammo for it, which the Sporterized guns, it's tough now. I could not find 8mm ammo. You can buy it online. But Remington Core-Lock bullets is what my grandfather used for all the years he hunted, just in a green and yellow box. So I go to find some. I went to Gander Outdoors. They had 7mm 308 and even 30-40 Krag, which is almost impossible to find, but no 8mm. So I'd end up with some Federal ammo, and I thought I was getting PPU ammo with a soft point bullet, and probably PPU ammo, if you're buying off the shelf, would be the best. I got the full metal jacket, went and tested it. It shot well. I thought I had the sights adjusted, and then I went and put the expensive ammo, because it was about $30 a box of Federal. Didn't get good results. The gun needs some more work and practice by itself. And like I said, I think my grandfather took 14 deer with that in his lifetime. So, you know, it's good enough. It's just something you'd have to get used to. And like I said, as far as a budget gun, it was given to me. So in this video, we're going to shoot our 8mm at 100 yards. And I threw in a couple other rifles. One was my FN, actually my grandfather's older brother's gun that I also inherited, is a civilian FN Mauser 98 action rifle. It was built in the 50s. I believe his wife bought him that rifle as an anniversary or birthday gift in 1955. And it's the rifle, the wood stock, it's a heavy gun in 30-06 with an old Weaver K5 variable power scope. I think it's a 3-6 or something, which at the time, in 1955, that was state of the art. And then what she told me she paid for, because I remember after his funeral and they're settling the estate, she had to remind me of what she paid for it. A gun like that now, using an inflation calculator, would be worth $2,300 retail price. So we've got my grandfather's Sporterized gun. We have a $2,000+ gun in there as a control. And I threw in another one, another open sight rifle, which is probably, as far as budget guns are concerned, at least years ago, for gun prices got crazy, the Winchester 94 and 30-30. This particular gun was made in 1977, and it's the same model 94 that been around over 100 years, okay? This one does not have angle eject. It ejects straight up over the top. Doesn't have any of the safeties or cross bolt safeties and that like the new ones. It's just a plain old Winchester 94 and 30-30. I had, in the late 80s, I bought a brand new one, which was the angle eject, which was a new thing back then. That way you could mount a scope, and was drilled and tapped for a scope. You could mount a scope on it, and it was pretty popular. But then later on, they went and put the cross bolt safety in and that. I like the older guns. I like the old design. You just got to be careful with it, you know, because like this is a safety on it. You know, you have to take the operating lever, and squeeze it up and disengage the safety. But a lot of people would like to try to drop it to the half cock, you know, which is another way you can carry it loaded, and then just pick her up and go. But a lot of guys were getting ADs when it was cold, trying to lower the handle and that, so they put the cross bolt safety in there. But this is a plain old gun, and actually this gun was a little beat up, Somebody probably carried it hunting. The finish is worn. But when I took it apart and cleaned it, the gun looks like it's brand new. I probably shot it now more. I put about 100 rounds or so through it. I probably shot the rifle more than the previous owner did. But that's a good baseline gun. There's a lot of them around. It's a common gun. Open sight 30-30. So we're going to throw that in. Now when I went to the range, I was trying to get in there so I could talk and that, but then there was people and this and that. And when you start talking and nobody knows what you're doing, they come over, they're looking at you, what are you doing, this and that, or they, ask you, what are you talking to me? So I didn't say nothing. So I'm going to go in, have a clip of the gun. You'll just see me quietly shooting the gun at 100 yards. Then I'll go and look at the target up on the board for each of the 3 guns. I'll do a little segment like that. And then I'll come back and we'll look at what I got here on the bench, the results. And then I'll compare it to the 100-yard targets of the other guns we tested in the previous video series. Okay, preliminary look. 5 rounds from Grandfather's 8mm Sporterized KAR-98. Not too bad, but compared to the scope rifles, we'll take a better look at it at the house. Okay, my FN Mauser. Not a bad group, shooting the control ammo, 100 yards. with the old Weaver K5 scope. We'll take that in, get a better look at it at the house. Okay, 30-30 Winchester. I was shooting kind of low at first down here to 5 rounds, and then I shot 5 more, 5 probably that one, and then these here 1, 2, 3. So we'll take a look at that. 30-30, not so good. Alright, so our 8mm. What we had with this one, let me see, the 1-inch squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, about a, say 5-inch group with that big flyer there towards the center. Either that or I started pulling, but about 3 inches. Okay, now compared, our Mossberg is the one that probably did the best out of the group there. That's our Axis 6.5. The 770, even though it had all kinds of problems, and 243 kind of held its own. You know, about a 2.5-inch group there. Then the 783, it is 5 shots, so unless one went way off, it isn't too bad. And held its own pretty good against the, that's the 2 308s, the Compass. So the Mauser probably with practice and a little work would, you know, it's up to you. So that's my results. You know, I'll let you be the judge of that as far as accuracy. But still, pretty accurate. With practice and a good hand load, I should be able to tighten that group up. Go on to the next one. Okay, that's 5 shots out of my FN Mauser 98 action with that old scope on there. And yeah, there's 2 bullets in 1 hole. And that is, we are using, on this one, I am using that Federal non-typical hunting ammo. This gun, you know, like I said, it would be in excess of $2,000 today to buy one. This gun shoots good with whatever you put in it. And it beats all the budget guns hands down. Okay, but like I said, this is about budget guns, not a top of the line sporting rifle. But that beats all the groups there that we just reviewed on the budget guns. So that's a pretty good gun in its own. And again, I'm gonna have to, when I do my estate planning, leave that to one of my nieces or nephews. It's something I am not going to sell. But yeah, so top of the line gun, beat them all. Okay, now we're going to go to our 30-30, which is kind of abysmal here. But I've shot, and also there's 10 round shot here, because the first group I shot of 5, 1, 2, 3, I think one of them went off the paper. And I think this one might be the 5th shot. And that leaves me at 1, 2, 3. Yep. Those 5 right there, after I made a little bit of adjustment in my point of aim and how to use the sight, is what I've shot. My 5-shot group, which is not too good. And that's one thing about the 30-30s. This was a bullet with a flat point. I found that the Remington Corlocks with the round nose bullet will shoot better. And I tried years ago to reload and try to get an accurate load. And it can be a difficult task. You got to just change powders and experiment so you find something that works. And there's a lot of people that have reloading videos on YouTube about 30-30, and they just take a reloading guide. If it has accuracy load, they just go with that. I tried that, it didn't work for me. I am going to do some work with it. I want to make a pretty accurate reload for the 30-30 rifle, and it's something I've got in the works. I've got a bunch of bullets that I have just lying around here forever. They're Remingtons with a flat point, kind of similar to what I was shooting. And I'm going to try to see if I can use some reloading techniques or just the right powder combination to tighten up a group like that. And you know, I'll run a series of different ammos through it, and kind of something like that. But yeah, if you have one of those, that's what you'd have to do, is just get different boxes of store-bought ammo till you find something that works for you. You know, that's all of these budget guns beat that out there. So that's it for my controls, wild cards, just giving you an idea. You know, if you had a used gun or something, you know, how it compares up to those. You know, you're probably better off with the scope on there than getting a used gun with iron sights, like an old 30-30 or something. All right.